right now.
Perfect.
Wow, so welcome to our, very first Twin Flames live Q&A. And we have some special guests here. We've got Contessa and Jason and Crystal, who are all newly in harmonious union with their true twin flames. So
Yay!
Bravo to them. We'll be talking to them tonight. We'll be answering your questions. We'll be sharing stories. And we'll be hearing from you guys and seeing what you guys have to share and ask and talk about. And we also have some students from our very own Twin Flame Ascension School here today.
Ooh.
So we're excited to get started. So how are you tonight, Crystal?
Doing good.
Good, good. And Contessa and Jason, how are you guys?
Excellent.
Doing well. Good. We're thrilled. We're pumped.
When are we not, though? We're pretty stoked people all the time, but extra stoked.
Wow. This is just so, this has never happened. This hasn't happened in a long time, on this planet where twin flames in harmonious union got together to hang out and connect.
Yeah.
And you're looking at Crystal, you're like, well, where's your twin flame? And don't worry, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about all of your questions that are happening in your consciousness. We're going to answer them, and we're going to get them to answer them too.
Sounds
so
good.
the first thing I want to talk about is, you see on YouTube, you see all these twin flame couples out there, but they're not really twin flames. And so our school is finally graduating students into harmonious union.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see real twin flames in harmonious union live, talking and being and sharing. You can hear people who are in harmonious union discussing their experience.
Yeah.
And we're actually very blessed today to have Daniel as Crystal's twin flame not here yet. Remember, they just got into harmonious union Sunday. So they're still integrating everything. And harmonious union does not mean everything's perfect and we have no upsets and no. And we do everything together as one. No, not yet. That's later on down the road. So give Crystal a break. If you're gonna throw some shade our way, throw it our way. Don't throw Crystal's way.
Who would do that?
Trolls. That's it.
No,
That's what.
there's no trolls. No.
So, well, let's just get into it. Let's mess with the nonsense. So, Crystal, you just arrived in harmonious union on Sunday.
Yeah.
How does that feel? What is that like for you?
Well, I'm still processing everything, and it feels good. I feel really peaceful and happy, but at the same time, I'm going through all of this upheaval. So it's a little confusing, but it feels good.
So, is it confusing because you had an idea in your head of what it would be like to enter harmonious union, or
Yeah. Weird, like what Jeff was saying.
Good. So what is it? What is it actually like? So okay, let's talk about a few things. So let's define harmonious union so everyone knows. First off, what this is, and then we'll go a little deeper into that.
Mm-hmm.
So harmonious union is at your core. You see, know, are aware of, accept, and invite your true twin flame. So you're completely present with your twin flame at your core.
Mm-hmm.
You know who this is for you, they know who you are to them, and you commit to each other. And it's that commitment that creates an eternal bond, because you're committing to something true and real with all that you are, which is true and real, and love becomes real in your life because you've fully gone deep into that place in your heart and you've met your divine complement there and you said yes to them. And this does not mean we have perfect communication. One of the big things Shaleia and I have been working on since harmonious union, big surprise, if you've seen our Twin Flames IRL videos, is communication. But it's ever improving. Does harmonious union mean now, oh, you have the best, most perfect sex ever, and you're flying orgasms left and right out of your ears? No, not quite. You might have great sex, and but that doesn't mean that you have the best sex yet. It'll always get better.
Yeah.
Harmonious union, at its core, is simply, I see you, and I'm with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel that when you came into Harmonious Union, Crystal?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Big relief.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like before, when you're like in separation, you feel like if you do something wrong or say something wrong or something happens, that it's gonna end. And you're gonna break up or whatever. But
Yeah.
now it's like, you know, they're not gonna stop loving you no matter what, and they're not gonna leave you.
Now you can say whatever you want. Yeah. So he's you know, big spoiler here. He's off bowling today. Did you see something mean?
I think he is. I don't know for sure.
He's doing his own thing right now.
Doing his own thing.
So let me help out our audience. Coming into Harmonious Union is a transcendental experience, and Crystal and Daniel are still processing, integrating that, right? But we have Contessa here with us and Jason here with us, who achieved Harmonious Union not but 90 minutes before Crystal in Ascension School. We got a Sunday at 5 and a Sunday at 7, and it just so happened that both Jason and Daniel joined Contessa and Crystal in classes, and we were all able to get them into Harmonious Union, into this state of being. And when you arrive here, truly arrive as a result of your own spiritual work, and you choose on your own volition, that's how you can come into Harmonious Union. So, Contessa and Jason, how are you?
Good.
Nodding, you know, pleasantly. Are you really happy, or did we actually just pay you to come be on camera and say, "Oh, these are twin flares of Harmonious Union. Look, guys, we did it." You getting paid right now by us? Dollars to show up and say we're in Harmonious Union?
Oh, definitely not.
No. Shaleia and I know that, you know, oftentimes before we do something big or get on camera, we'd yell at each other and fight a lot. And then we get on camera, well, beep, you know, we have a little timer. We have had so many B tapes where it was us yelling at each other. No, we're gonna start with the restart the video. Why are you doing this? Okay. It happens, right?
It happens.
So Harmonious Union does not, once again, it does not mean everything is hunky-dory. But it does mean that there's a deep understanding there that you're not going anywhere. Do you guys feel that with each other?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Want to tell us more about how things are going? You want to share a story, or?
Well, I know there's been some upheaval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some upheaval. We talk more about that.
Well, I was crying for no reason, walking around by myself in when we were on vacation.
Yeah.
So,
Vacation, you mean like right after you got in a Harmonious Union?
yeah, immediately after we got in the Harmonious Union, we just got in the car and started driving around.
Yeah. What prompted you guys to do that? Like right after class, you're like, we're going on an adventure.
A little road trip.
We went and looked at a house in New Mexico.
Wow.
Nice.
Sweet. Sounds like a good adventure. I know that you guys are, you know, you have a house that Contessa had, and you have a farm that Jason's family has, and now, you know, you're also looking at instead going to live in New Mexico. So, what prompted you for that to be the first thing that you did?
We both wanted to get away from the area we live in, and
Yeah,
we like the mountains, so
it's beautiful.
Did you say New Mexico or Mexico?
New Mexico.
Okay, I thought so, but then I thought I heard Mexico. New Mexico was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jason, you were not in class. You were not attending Ascension School classes at all. And Contessa was. You weren't receiving readings, you weren't receiving all the support from our work, and yet you arrived at the same conclusion as her. What was that like for you?
to some degree, it made it more real for me. This way, more of my-
The audio.
Can you pick up the audio is cutting out?
For me, there was an aspect of it being more personal and more real for me because it wasn't. I didn't feel like I was being guided to anything or into anything. It was an experiential thing for me that.
Yeah. What was your experience like? Because, like, you know, Contessa had all of this healing work and all this prep work and all of this spiritual work, you know, within the parameters of understanding exactly what you guys are coming into. But you only got that through Contessa. Did you feel like you were unsupported throughout this process, or did it feel normal and natural to you?
That is the beauty of a lot of this, is just how natural and how easy it has all felt. I think that's kind of what makes it feel like, okay, there's something to this, because it is just so natural and so easy.
Yeah.
I do feel like I was kind of more in the dark and didn't really know as far as terminology or what was going on with the like twin flame aspect and all of that to a deeper level. But like I say, for me, it was also more personal and a deeper experience because it was just kind of my first-hand comparison of what I was experiencing to what she was talking about and telling me.
Can you tell us your story of how you guys met, Jason?
Well, I've been working with a local Reiki group for a few years, and she showed up one night, actually when I had my son, and we both worked on her. And that first night, I could feel something really interesting in her energy. I think I even made a comment about it, or how good her energy felt. But it was more of a professional environment, so didn't really make any efforts or anything to.
You met her in a professional environment, learning Reiki, and you felt something good about her, but you decided it wouldn't be appropriate to kind of pursue anything because of the environment you were in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And later on, I mean, finding out she was already married and some of that just,
Wow.
wasn't areas that I really wanted to like dive into and cause any trouble or anything.
Right.
But then kind of as that was coming towards an end, we had decided to work together out at my house, and we came out here and we both kind of decided to be honest with each other and realized we had both felt a lot of things that we weren't talking about.
Yeah.
I was actually doing a Reiki session on her, and she kind of stopped me and said, I have to tell you something. And I was like, well, no, you really don't. I kind of know, but I guess that means we're going to get honest with each other, and spent, the next few hours?
10 hours.
Just
10 hours.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
good. So beautiful. Yeah. So hold that right there. Can we go back to Contessa and hear her story up until this point? So what was your story up until this point, Contessa?
Up until I met him, or until?
Well, up until where Jason left off.
Oh. Well, I didn't know that he was my twin flame for 8 months after I met him. So, but then I started getting, I got a vision of him, and somebody was trying to tell me that he was my twin flame. And I sat with it for a week before I called you, and then you confirmed what I was thinking, or what was in the vision. So
yeah.
So then the week after that, I was sitting on it till I went to see him at his house.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell him on the phone, but he shut me down. So
yeah.
I got really mad about that. Yeah. I just want to tell you. It would have been easier to do it without having to be right in front of him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then you told him, or you sounded like you were gonna tell him, but he told you first.
That's right. And so he said, I already know. And I was like, cool, what do you know?
That's
You
funny.
tell me. You tell me, and I'll see if it matches. So
So you were married with a husband at the time, and you
I
came
was.
to me, and you're like, I think I met my twin flame, but at first, is it my husband? And I was like, oh, it'd be more convenient, wouldn't it? But you were brave.
Yeah.
He was he lived with you. You guys shared a home together, and you
Yeah.
said, no, I want to follow my heart's desire. I want to be with my ultimate lover. I'm not willing to invest in someone who's not my ultimate lover.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what did you do after you told Jason, or you and Jason had that 10-hour talk, Contessa? Did you let your husband in on it, or did you, sneak behind the radar, or how did that go down?
Well, I think it took just a week. It was another week, and then I went and I had filed for divorce, and I went and told him to move out, and he moved out that day.
Wow. Yeah, that was really...
It all happened really easily and smoothly. I didn't expect that because he's not usually a very understanding guy.
So,
Right.
how did you communicate to him in a way that would cause him to move out that day?
Well, the children and I went and hid, and I texted him. So, yeah, that's how it worked. But
right. But you communicated honestly. You didn't pander around. It sounds like you were like, unequivocally, this is over, get out.
Yes.
And he did.
I didn't say it in a mean way. I said it in a nice way, and I wish him the very best, and I want him to meet his, perfect mate as well.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
Well, maybe he'll see this one day and choose his true twin flame as well. Because now that, Contessa, you and Jason have achieved harmonious union, you make it possible for others to do it too. You make it easier because people can see you. If they can see and read energy like you guys and we can, they can see your twin flame vibration, the true twin flame vibration,
Right.
deep at the core, not something that's been plastered on top to pretend to be twin flames, or even something very powerfully plastered on top to, create an illusion for others to believe in, but something that's true, that's something that's arising from within your core. You don't have to fake anything. You don't have to be anything or do anything to have harmonious union because you've truly achieved it within. You have something real. So we want to hear the rest of the story about what happened after Contessa's husband was gone. Did you guys immediately move in together and you fall in love and you're in harmonious union, or was there work?
There's been work from the beginning, and actually even in Reiki class before all of this, we were working together, and he healed my throat, and because I had tracheal stenosis, where my throat was together, and he managed to heal that, and we've been working on our spirit since we've been together. Also, just always doing the mirror exercise. I shared that with him.
Yeah.
Pretty much immediately. So
you did have a few tools once you guys, started talking about this.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So Jason wasn't, left in the dark. But also what I wanted to get to is, what I wanted to touch on is both Daniel, Crystal's twin flame, and Jason, obviously Contessa's twin flame. We're not in Ascension School, didn't ever meet us or do any of this work other than, what they taught their twin flame until the day they got into harmonious union. And one of the funny things about Daniel, we'll get into the story later, is we in class watched him go through the thinking process of answering the questions, of coming into the awareness. And Crystal had already chosen this, right? And it was clear he'd probably never thought about this. And as he went in to discover how he felt, the choice was already there because they're twin flames and they think as one and they choose as one. Or they choose as one, right? They think individually. But they're one choosing being. they're two aspects of the same one blueprint, and any choice made is made together at that higher level. And so when Daniel made the choice to be with Crystal eternally, he realized it was already made for him, because he had already made it deep inside as one with Crystal. And it was just, him realizing that that choice was already made because of the work that Crystal had done in Ascension School that made it easy and obvious for him, because his twin flame had already done all of this type of work. Now, that doesn't mean, that the men were, dinking around. Jason, I'm sure that you had your own spiritual journey that you were going throughout this whole period.
It's a good, a good example of this belief that there's the unawakened twin. Well, the men, they weren't unawakened just because they weren't, taking classes or necessarily watching twin flame videos or watching readings, and that's such a farce. But they had their own spiritual journey, and they were working their own process to get into harmonious union.
So Contessa and Jason, what happened after Contessa's husband got left the scene? Was that freeing for you, Contessa? What was that like to say goodbye to him?
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember saying, I never have to do that again.
That's so relieving in itself.
It's so true, because somewhere deep in your heart you knew, I'm done with investing in men who weren't right for me. I'm finally ready to choose my one true love.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there any doubt in your mind that this man is your one true love?
No.
No, not even a little bit? I mean, you just got in the hormone. Oh, cut me off there. I mean, yeah. Okay. That's my man. Are you just saying that because you've been programmed by Ascension School to pick a man and claim him unequivocally, and we got some really good mental programming?
Mold him into your
She's laughing at me right now. She's like, you joke.
I know, but it has to be said, really.
Well, people want to know, because they don't know what Ascension School is like, right? And they may not know what it is like to work with us. But
I would still know even if I had never gone to Ascension School.
Yeah.
Because it was shown to me, and even I only called you just because I wanted verification. If it wasn't you, it would have been somebody else.
You were tricky with me too. You were like, I think it's my husband. Can you show me? I know this other guy, he might be too. And I was like, it's this other guy you're doing Reiki with. Sorry, definitely not your husband. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But then the reality struck that, I actually have to explore things with Jason. I actually, if this is real, I have to get another divorce. I got to get rid of this guy. And wow, what a challenge. But you did it. I mean, you did it in 10 weeks.
9-10 weeks.
It was 10 Ascension School classes. It was something like 10 weeks or 11 weeks from the time that you called me to harmonious union.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah, that was really fast. No, they had known each other for 8 months before, but she called upon my help then. And we did a half a session, and she's like, oh, this is what I got to do. And I was like, come to Ascension School. We ended the session early, and she started school classes, and the rest is history. And here it is before you, right? History in the making. So I don't mean to keep going on all these, bubbly offshoots, because we really want to hear your story, but there's so much to talk about.
Well, what else is there to talk about?
Well, you make very good points. I mean, it hasn't ever been just this easy, smooth, everything's perfect. It is a lot more. It brings up many things, and you start working more rapidly on developing who you are and who you are with that person.
Yeah.
And it does bring up a lot more to work on. It becomes very challenging. I mean, if it's something you're not dedicated to, it's not something for the weak of heart to go into.
No, not at all.
I like
not at all.
I say if it's not something you're dedicated to, then it's not.
Not for the faint of heart, right?
It's right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with that. And, we've mentioned that in our videos, and I've mentioned that with, clients I get for readings and stuff. Like, this isn't just some beautiful romantic idea. This is a radical lifestyle where you're choosing harmonious union with the divine and with yourself, and as a result, you have a twin flame that will naturally be attracted into your life based off of these choices. But you're right, it's not for the faint of heart. And the reason is that your twin flame mirrors everything that is in and out of alignment with your divine self. So, like all these fears and choices that you made in the past that are not serving your best and highest interest, your twin flame comes along and will trigger the F out of you. But it's only because that's you, right? That's an aspect of you. It's like one being having a conversation with itself amongst two people. It's very, very interesting reality to live in. And so I always take that opportunity as, okay, where do I need to love myself here now? Okay, I need to love myself in this way, in this way. And this is how he's always showing me where it is that I need to be choosing love. And this is directly the path of ascension that has been brought to the awareness of many people on the planet with the onslaught of 2012 and the new age and the end of the old way of being and the second coming of Christ and the embodiment of Christ consciousness. So
the establishment of God's kingdom.
The establishment of God's kingdom. This is really it. It's through twin flames, through harmonious twin flame union. And when you have harmonious twin flame union handled, you're naturally going to evolve to perfect union. And what we mean by perfect union is there's absolutely no miscommunication. So, just because you're in harmonious union doesn't mean that you're still not going to have fights and upsets and conflicts. But the truth is that when it comes down to your twin flame, there's actually never, ever any conflict. It's just the appearance and the illusion of conflict.
Yep.
Beneath that, the truth is that there's a miscommunication. And it's a miscommunication that you're having with yourself and with the divine. But once you clear that, then you heal that and you have perfect communication. When we have perfect communication with the divine and with yourself, you're really embodying the full truth of who you really are as a divine child of God, as your true divine self. And that's the ascension. And that's when you attain perfect union with your twin flame. Like, in your heart of hearts, when you vibe into Jason, you know that there is a reality where you never have miscommunication. Like, you have perfect communication and like no upsets. Am I correct?
Right, yeah.
And I think the same is true for you too, Crystal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what we're talking about. So yeah, like it's no big deal when you have an upset with your twin flame in harmonious union, because you know that that's a pathway that is leading you into perfect union. And the beautiful gift of this is that you bequeath this jewel, this gem, this state of being and consciousness to your children and to your surrounding family and friends and to other people whom you decide to touch in the world. So, I said this, I think the other day to someone, how I sleep really well at night knowing that our future child is going to be in harmonious union and going to be living her or his perfect twin flame life purpose. And of course, they're my grandchildren, our grandchildren, if we have them, which I hope so, it doesn't really matter. They're going to have that same reality. So the spiritual work and the inner work that I put in now has absolutely long-term, eternal, lasting effects that's going to not just affect an entire genetic lineage, but it's going to affect and change the entire world. And this is really what we talk about when we say, this is the second coming of Christ and Christ's consciousness that we embody. It's through using twin flame union as an ascension path to God. And here's how. Here's what we've learned. Here's how we're doing it. And here's how other people are achieving it through the tools that we've learned.
And here's how you can do it
Here's
too.
how you can do it.
And we're talking about the second coming of Christ because you're establishing within yourself
The kingdom of heaven,
Right,
the
perfect
kingdom
love.
of God, and perfect love.
And so what Contessa and Jason and Crystal and Daniel have achieved within themselves in attaining harmonious union is perfect love at their core.
Yeah.
Perfect union with love at their core, or perfect union with God at their core. Now, that doesn't mean every aspect of their lives and every aspect of their union is there yet. And it's certainly not, and we don't profess ours to be either, but we're well on our way.
Right.
And so are these couples.
Yeah.
And they're also here before you to say, you can do it too. And here's a big hint. And Anne and Katrina also twin flames in harmonious union as a result of our work. Anne worked with us before we had Ascension School over Skype, and she did it in 7 sessions.
6 sessions.
Well, it was 7. The 7th one it was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She did a session and then a 3 and then 3.
Yeah, you're
and it
right.
was done, right? It took 6-month period, but it was long, right? And she was in union. They were in union quickly.
Yeah.
But here's the big secret that all these successful students have to share with you, and I'll share it for you guys. And you can verify if you want and be like, no, that's not the secret. Or if you want, you can say that was a secret. The big secret is they listened to our teaching.
Mm-hmm.
They listened to us and they did as we directed. Now, this isn't some big ego trip. We don't care. If you're coming to Ascension School, you recognize we really don't care whether you listen to us or not. We let you, right? But if you're going to do some crazy stuff, we'll call you out, right? But you can take your time in following the direction. And more direction will come once you follow the first direction.
Right.
Well, all of these students who succeeded were people who took our direction, achieved it, and then asked for the next step. And then they did it and kept doing it until they arrived at their harmonious union.
Right.
So here's our suggestion for all of those of you who are not in Ascension School. We have many of you today. Hi, Fabian and Gregory. Hi, Lydia.
And Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and also, hi, Amanda.
Oh, hey, Amanda.
They know, right? But all those of you not in Ascension School, here is our big suggestion for you. Get a romance report if you haven't. Read our book if you haven't. Come to Ascension School if you haven't. Buy our course, Twin Flames Dreams Coming True, if you haven't. Buy Twin Flames Romance Attraction if you haven't met your twin flame yet. Or you're not in union yet. It's the union prep course.
Yeah.
These resources are here for a reason.
Right.
They're here to help you get into your harmonious twin flame union. And we have other advanced resources as well that you can see through our websites that are all over the internet and all over our videos. I don't need to tell you where they are. They're linked. They're linked everywhere at work. I'm not going to link them again for you. Check another video. You're here on our YouTube channel. Check another video.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Contessa and Jason's story, because I'm on a cliffhanger still. You know, love has us on a cliffhanger. I want to hear what's next. I've heard the story and I want to hear it again.
Let's hear it.
I was part of the story and I want to hear it again. So you guys met, dumped the not twin flame, Contessa did. Jason, did you have to dump anyone, or was your life already clear and open?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, you were ready. You had already prepared way.
I'd kind of had more periods of just kind of self-reflection and working on me during the last few years. So
yeah,
I hadn't really.
And that's what led you to
anything serious. And yeah, absolutely.
For
and
me,
that's one thing we've both mentioned before is it was so perfect, the timing of how we came together and when we came together, that it never would have worked at any other point in our lives, but we were just at that right point that everything did match up and line up and click. And
wow. Yeah, because you were ready in your heart, your life was ready too.
Yeah, the same is true for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shaleia I think you were doing specific twin flame work before we met?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean...
twin flame specific work, like you'd heard about twin flames, you're pursuing
I was already aware of twin flames probably about 1 year to 2 years before Jeff and I started actually like talking on Facebook. And I can't remember how I came across the concept. I was really into a lot of like spiritual stuff. So eventually I ran into it, right? And then I was like, yeah, I think this is what I'm actually searching for. I thought the term was soulmate. but when I like got deeper and read about twin flame and the twin flame concept, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. It's my twin flame that I want.
Right.
And that makes total sense. And, you know, when I really allowed the information, the idea to wash over me, and I went into my heart and I was asking for the truth, I'm like, is twin flames true, or is this another like crock of shit kind of thing that, I don't know, someone's trying to make up or whatever. And my heart with like a resounding yes, like, yes, twin flames are real and you do have a twin flame. And I was like, oh yes, this is why it's never worked out with anyone in the past, you know, because I was looking for my twin flame all along, but I just I was very unclear about what it is specifically I was looking for and what that, you know, what that really was and what it entailed. And so we went on my twin flame merry way, and, you know, started consciously on the journey. And I was pulled to many different places, you know, to live. And I think part of my mistake, but it wasn't really a mistake, was I thought I had to like physically move myself to like be with my twin flame. He did the same. Of course, we had the same thought, right? So we did the exact same thing. And like we'd move around to like, you know, places that were more like spiritually focused, like Sedona and like California and Hawaii. Yeah. Well, no, we were already together in Hawaii.
Well, I was in Big Island, Hawaii.
No, you were. That's right. So, you know, in the West Coast. But then, you know, I realized it's an inner place. I'll find my twin, you know, within, clearing the blocks to love. And when I started that work and I moved to Sedona and I met my spiritual teacher, she's like, mirror exercise. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, what is this? And at first I was like, no, this is not for me. I don't like this.
I don't need this crap.
Well, I felt like it's their fault, you know, like, and I think a lot of people come across that same thought or same idea when they start the mirror exercise. Like, I want them to change. I don't want it, you know, like they're the one doing the thing. You're doing the thing. But I realized that as I continued to just stay with the process and trusted in my spiritual teacher, that I was actually changing my life, and I was actually resolving these upsets and negative experiences that I was having. And I'm like, wow, shit, there is something here, you know? And so, you know, I attracted my false twin flame, and you did around the same time. And I used the mirror exercise heavily and realized, oh, wow, I'm not with the right person at all, you know? And that's when I did the love list. And that's when I just completely let go and surrendered and was like, I'm completely open to my twin flame. I don't care what they look like. I just care about how they feel to me. And I'll know exactly by how they feel that, oh, baby, you're mine. Like, we share the same blueprint blood, or whatever you want to, you know, soul blueprint. So when I just completely surrendered to God and said, okay, I'll let you lead. And God guided me, to like go on dates with people that I probably never would have considered in the past before, when I had my idealized version of my twin flame. And then, you know, it was all nice and stuff, but I was already talking to Jeff online, you know, and he was on that island and I was definitely not. I was in the desert, and I realized, wow, there's something special about this guy. Like, I'm on a physical date with like a fairly attractive guy who has a career and his shit together and has like a house and a car and a truck, and that's all very attractive to me, because I mean, I'm not going to be your sugar mama, you know, like it'll be more like feel equal. But I just kept thinking about Jeff, like, throughout the whole date and stuff. And then I told the guy at the end, I'm like, I think I like this other guy. When he asked me if I wanted to, like, go on another date, or if I was, like, you know, if we wanted to, like, continue kind of thing. And I was like, I'll be honest. I'm talking to this guy online. I don't know, because he lives in Hawaii, and, you know, but, you know, I kind of gently, and he was actually really graceful and cool about it. But yeah, I mean, even Jeff was not someone I looked at and was like, that's my twin flame, you know, I'm so wildly attracted to him. It was more like I looked at him and I was biased against him. But it's because, like, I was holding a false image about myself, and I had a bias against myself. And when I let that all go, you know, God was able to reveal to me that, yeah, Jeff is your true twin flame. And I had signs and confirmation after confirmation. And then finally, like, just experiencing the union as its own entity and as its own being was the final revealing factor for us that we're twin flames. And that's when we were able to write the book, when we fully test drove the union, was like, oh, this is real. This isn't just some like pie in the sky spiritual concept. This is a reality, and we're living it together as one. So back to Contessa and Jason. I like story swaps. They're very, very wonderful and helpful.
So where did we leave off in your story? Okay, what happened after we left the husband? I think we're still there. We haven't really gone beyond that point yet.
Well, I was hanging out at the farm a lot, and you told me just to move in.
I kept telling you that for weeks. I'm like, move in, move in. Why aren't you moved in yet? You can move in tomorrow. I got your kids. I got your kids on camera with us in Ascension School.
Your son, yeah.
Your son was like, I was like, are you gonna help your mom move in? You're gonna hold her to it? And he's like, yep, I can help. I can help. And then I got you to say to your kids that you're gonna move in. And then finally, a few weeks later, you're still in the process of moving in. But keep going. Keep going in your story. You're here to tell the story, not me.
Well,
Okay.
I'm trying to move in, and then Jason goes off to the desert by himself for 2 weeks.
That's right. That's right.
There might have been a little bit of stuff to work out there.
Yeah.
And then he let me come see him in the desert, so that was pretty fun. In the desert, and we went to Santa Fe and had a hand-binding ceremony on a whim, because we thought we were going to an oxygen bar, but it turns out there was a lady there that helped couples get together and everything, and we thought we were just going to get like a couples massage or something, but ended up being a commitment ceremony. So
Wow. So it was like a pre-harmonious union marriage ceremony.
yeah.
Wow. Isn't that
Nice.
the miracle of God,
Yeah.
working through your life?
Right.
You guys attracted and magnetized that through your love.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So you had your couple ceremony or your uniting ceremony. Then what happened?
What happened?
What we do now?
Yeah, we're still figuring out what to do next, and organizing the house.
One more time, you guys
Yeah.
you guys got to speak up because your microphone's really quiet,
Yeah.
and with the internet, if you speak loudly and clearly, then people will be able to hear you.
We're just still trying to organize our life together.
Yeah.
And,
It's just begun. There's so much
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
So much to do. Shaleia and I are still busy getting our lives together, and it's been 3 years since we met.
Yeah, over 3 years.
2 years since harmonious union.
Yeah, over 2 years now.
Yeah, so it will take time.
Yeah.
As one brother and sister to another sister and brother.
Yeah.
It will take time. There's no hurry, and yet at the same time, everything is happening so swiftly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for all of you out there, the next step after you attain harmonious union is about establishing a home together, at a pace that is appropriate for you. But that's the next essential and logical step. And it took us 2 years to we were living together, but it took us 2 years to actually have a real home together where we weren't gonna have to get kicked out or move around or because we just lived with other people and we were kind of gypsying from one place to another.
Not on purpose. We would just vibrate so high that our roommates would not feel comfortable with it and find some reason to kick us out.
We've been walking around high on life and blissed out and just completely in love with each other and talking about twin flames and doing twin flame work. And I guess the people that we were living with just couldn't resonate with that.
We kept attracting situations where
Right.
we would get kicked out of the home. And so it took us a full 2 years to find a living situation that was stable, where we didn't have any roommates.
Where we could get very high, like spiritually, and
not freak someone else
and not
out,
like
right?
freak someone out. So we're like in our own little happy box,
They're right. Contained, no one can come in.
Contained, everyone contained happy box. Where you can get very
because within others, our roommates weren't doing spiritual work, and within themselves, they chose to keep love away.
Right, and we lived with another couple who were just soulmates, and the contrast living with them was like undeniable. And I know it made them very uncomfortable, because how could you not like look at another couple? And I mean, they didn't know what twin flames were and stuff, but they knew
they were outclassed.
They knew they were in some regard. They knew there was something different, and so it made them look at their own relationship and realize they were just actually friends having sex and like buying a house together.
Yeah.
So I felt compassion for them, but that was one situation where it just didn't work out. But so just so you all know, the next step is about establishing your home together so that you can live out your life purpose work, your twin flame life purpose work. Mm-hmm. So there is like step-by-step steps to take once you attain harmonious union with your twin.
Beautiful. So on that day, Contessa and Jason, what was it like to come to class that day? It was the first time Jason had been to a class. What was that like, coming to class together that first time? What was that day leading up like?
He was joking that he wasn't going to show up.
Oh yeah? Why?
And I was so.
Wait, so what did you say? What was that last thing you just said?
I was about to cry, and then he's like, "No, I'm just kidding."
Oh, okay. So
I might have given her a little bit of a hard time.
Don't worry.
Shaleia does that to me too. It's really just joking with yourself once you realize later.
It is, and it's also like little impetuses to help your twin flame grow, because there's so much energy in a twin flame union. Like the focus is always on expansion and growth,
Yeah.
So those are what the pokes are really about. But I know that there's always gentler ways to say something,
Yeah.
a suggestion. So.
Good. So on that day, pretending you weren't going to come, pretending you were going to cry, you revealed you were joking, you revealed you were too, and then you came to class. And what was that like, being guided into harmonious union that day for you?
It was about time.
Bravo. Yeah.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
I mean, I guess for me, I didn't necessarily know what I was going into or what I was expecting. There were lots of things that resonated, and as I told you during that, I felt full body and felt all kinds of sensations throughout me that really resonated with what you were saying, and the different things you were channeling and bringing in throughout that I could definitely feel at a deep level. But
so you're noticing that it was a
something
healing
deep and meaningful.
I was going to say, you're noticing that it was a healing that I was conducting to bring you into harmonious union. And it was a choice you guys had to make. I didn't make the choice for you. No one can do it for you but you. But you're also recognizing that I was helping to heal your separation consciousness on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And did you guys notice any difference at all, other than, we're all really happy for you, between Saturday, the day before class, and now, or even, right after class? Do you guys notice any difference whatsoever inside?
I do. I feel much more comfortable, and not as many concerns come up for separation.
A deeper sense of connection and assurance. Yeah.
Here.
One more time, you really gotta enunciate because of Google Hangouts.
The deeper sense of connection and assurance that what we have is forever kind of aspect.
Nice.
So you really feel that inside?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that before with another partner, a sense that this is forever?
No.
But you've been married, Contessa. Did you feel that, on your wedding day, at least with your husband?
No.
Really? What did you feel on your wedding day with your ex-husband? What in this place?
Irritated.
Irritated. You felt irritated. Now, this isn't because of
I can't wait till
Bridezilla.
this is over.
Why were
This
you
is
irritated?
uncomfortable.
I-
I said, I can't wait till this is over. This dress is uncomfortable. I wish you would do that.
Wow.
So yeah, you
You know,
were really focused on the uniting of being man and wife, but
Instead on the dress being
other
uncomfortable
things were
and
pulling
him
your
being
attention.
irritating.
So what happened on Sunday? Why do you guys feel like this relief and this joy and this happiness is, and the healing that Jeff conducted for you guys on that day? And I mean, I was here too, and part of it was he really brought you into the altar in your sacred heart, and he invited you to take your marriage vows, your spiritual marriage vows. And when you did, that's how and why you dissolved your separation consciousness from your harmonious twin flame union. So that was really, really an honor and beautiful to watch. And that was how a big piece of how you guys got into your harmonious union, because there was just one or two last core blocks to your harmonious union, and Jason deciding and to show up, and Contessa claiming her twin flame to show up, was able to finally heal this last critical piece, so that they could finally feel that peace and release and relaxation into the truth that they're always have been and are at their core in harmonious twin flame union.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the same is true for Crystal. Yep.
Yeah. So one thing that I hope you ladies don't mind me mentioning, that both Crystal and Contessa experienced the next day, was they both cried. Crystal, you want to tell us about why you cried the next day?
I honestly don't even know why. I just felt really emotional and like I needed to cry, like to release everything that I was letting go of and getting settled more into the harmonious union.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. I still sometimes want to cry, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as it was like at first.
Yeah, don't worry. We cried a lot too after we reached our harmonious union. It was just like the littlest thing. I'd look at him and I'd start bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because I know that we are never, ever going to part. And I can invest all of who I am in this man. And it's over. It's over. The hunt is over.
Right after we got in the harmonious union, we tested it by going through the most insanely rocky times you could ever imagine in life. And she was there with me. Any other person would have 100% left me.
Oh, yeah.
100% left me.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was no question in her mind. And there was no question in my mind that we were together forever.
Right, right.
That it was, her and I forever.
Right.
And I'm not saying, oh no, once you hear harmonious union, insanely rocky times are coming. Not at all.
No, everyone's different.
But
That's
for
our
us, we tested it. And we shook the boat. We're like, this better be real, is it? If it's not real, it's definitely going to fall here, because ain't nothing else going to make it fall but this. Not a problem at all. She was there with me through all these insanely challenging times, so losing my whole family and all my support and all my friends and all my income and everything.
Yeah.
All my business partners.
Yeah.
Everything was done.
Yeah, I was really like holding the towel while Jeff dove into that turmoil, and I just loved him and held space, and I guess you could say I was the rock in that, and I was directing him, saying, hang up on your sister. We're done.
Yeah.
She's being abusive, cunt.
It's over.
Sorry to those people who don't like that word and whatever, but yeah, it was just, I was just there for him, and I know like he's been there for me for the hardest times in my life where, yeah, it would be easy for someone to say, whoa, this is too intense. I need to like walk away, and you need to deal with this yourself. But because we're committed in harmonious union, like we can go through the most challenging and low times, and we know we're always there for each other, and that we are each other's healing force, as well as the divine through each other, and others are also the biggest healing force in our lives. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
So Contessa, you also went through an upheaval and cried the next day. Can you tell us about that, why you cried, and what that meant for you?
I had no reason to cry. I was just walking around. I was walking around town by myself, looking at shops and buying books and crying to myself in front of strangers.
Yeah. You know, I think I've mentioned this maybe in a video before, but how, you know, when Jeff and I physically met in Sedona for the first time, and, you know, we had sex that night for the first time, obviously. Like, I just cried for like an hour, like straight, for like our whole sexual experience, because I finally felt like love is here to stay. And I felt that in our being, and I'm like, I never had made love before. I knew it in my being. I never made love before until I had sex with Jeff. And I never felt a man so present with me and like loving me so much. Oh, and here comes the tears. I promised myself. It's just so healing to talk about our love, and I'm just so grateful.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, love is here to stay, and this is the love that is here to stay in everyone's lives that are here incarnated on the planet. And it's just remembering that you can achieve your twin flame union, your harmonious union as well, and that it's not impossible. That's only a belief that, oh, it's hard, like, quit whining. Like, it can be done. All you have to do is just make the choice to love yourself enough into your harmonious union, and that's it. I mean, it's really not like some complicated spiritual surgery you have to go through, and, you know, it has to like completely like traumatize your life. That is absolutely not what needs to happen. It can be very fun, easy, graceful, and joyful experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can really your challenges with utter ease and grace. And I know that you know, Contessa and Crystal's unions, and same with Anne and Katrina, I mean, they're just testament once again that it's not impossible. It's just about a choice you make. It all starts with the choice. Do you choose your harmonious twin flame union? Yes or no? Do you claim your harmonious union? Yes or no? Are you willing to move through the blocks to your union? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
And et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. That's all it is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. You just speak your truth and you let it be done. You let spirit, you let God move through you and show you the steps each and every way. And the easier and the sooner you're able to just relax and surrender into the process, that's moving forward, then yeah, the quicker you're going to enter your union. It's really about accepting all of yourself, being with all of yourself, loving all of yourself. And that is how you get into your union. Like when I started, like when I was on my journey to being with my twin flame, I knew that I was ready to claim all of myself, all of who I am. So yeah, that absolutely includes Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like, when we started talking and meeting, I just felt like such a huge relief and love in my heart that I really sincerely believe this is the one. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, it's confirmed and stuff. So, yeah, you can never go back you never want to go back. Like the other side, no thanks. I like this side, being with my twin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, Crystal, what did it take for you to get into harmonious union?
What did, like, the blocks, or
Well, you don't have to go into your specific blocks, but what was the process for you? What did it take for you to actually achieve this?
Just doing the mirror exercise.
Wait, really? You're not just saying nice things to make us
No.
proud here?
That's literally all I did.
Great.
Bravo, bravo.
Yeah.
So, what would that look like in your journey, your twin flame journey?
Like doing the mirror exercise, like,
Yeah. So, how would you know when to do the mirror exercise?
well, he would trigger me, or some, like I'd have an upset,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would just go in and like mirror it and like reflect why is this happening? Like, what's the reason? Like, what's the block within me that I need to heal?
Yeah.
And I'll just like go through it, and then I would like to God also, and it's just, it would be like healed after a while. And yeah.
So you would get triggered by him. You do the mirror exercise, and then it would be healed.
Yeah.
Yay! Yes, that's
It's
it.
that simple, folks.
It is that simple.
That's the process.
Crystal. I'm sorry. I actually meant to call on Contessa to like build up a point. Crystal. Contessa, what did it take for you to come into harmonious union?
Mirror exercise.
Oh, come on. She just said that.
She means that.
Really?
Yeah, lots of releasing and healing and realizing that anything that made me upset was just me.
Wow.
So I have a question to ask to both of you. What is it about Jeff and I that you entrusted your harmonious twin flame journey? Like your journey to harmonious twin flame union, excuse me.
I don't know. Watching your videos, both seem very trustworthy, and it just resonated with me, and I just trusted you from the beginning. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I received that.
I received that.
What about you, Crystal?
The same thing, like I was watching your guys' YouTube videos and I could just feel like that twin flame love between you guys was so cute, and you're the only ones that actually were like together doing the same work. And, like, posting videos and things like that, and I just went ahead and like contacted you, and the rest is history.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so
Good.
both Crystal and Daniel in their own way, and Contessa and Jason in their own way, and at a time that's appropriate for them, will all be helping other people into harmonious union as well.
Yeah.
And so they're taking the next step to not only have attained their love, but to share this beautiful gift with the rest of the world. And that's part of why they're here today, live in front of an audience and live, on YouTube, in a video that will get, seen and shared and talked about all over the internet. Here today with their hearts open and their love right on the table for you to see that, yes, this is possible. Yes, you can do it. And yes, we are there too, sharing this message of true love, that true love is real.
And it's here to stay.
So I just want to give these, two, well, I want to say unions, but that's really what is, even though Daniel's not here on camera,
He's still present.
he's still present here. And, this is what's perfect. Can you see, Crystal, why it's probably best that Daniel wasn't here today? That it's extremely overwhelming energetically to have him here, to have, 3 unions, harmonious unions on camera all at once. And especially you guys being so new, all of this energy, all this intensity. So
Very high energy.
it doesn't need to be any higher than it is right
It's
now.
already pretty high.
There's so much.
That's okay.
Right. but God is at work here behind the scenes, making everything perfect. So I just want to, start a round of applause for these two unions. And bravo to your success. Congratulations. Bravo. Well done. Absolutely exquisite. You did it, You did the thing that everyone is striving toward.
Did the thing.
You did the thing that everyone wants. You achieved it. And you stand here as a testament to say, yes, it is possible. I can do it. I can do it too.
Yeah, and I really respect that, these two unions are going to be moving forward and doing their life purpose work, sharing harmonious twin flame union and showing you guys how to achieve that as well in your life. So, the more people that achieve harmonious union and go on to speak about it and talk about it and teach and show other people the way, the better. I mean, for me, that's heaven on earth. That's the dream. That's the God dream. So
it's so important too, because today on the internet, it's 99% people who read a twin flame blog once, now they're an expert and they're talking about it and starting businesses on it.
Right.
And so it's so important when people genuinely come into harmonious union to share this real spiritual understanding, this true awareness, this result of true inner mastery, this mastery of commitment to love and being with love and awareness of love.
Yeah, the world needs to see more people in harmonious union so they understand what that is, what that looks like, what that feels like, so that, there's many facets to a diamond, right? And people need to see the whole diamond, not just one faucet. Like Jeff and I are one faucet, but all of it. And then they start to understand, oh, there's like a very clear pattern here I recognize, and just the feeling and the energy and the teaching. It's all one and the same.
Beautiful. So we have some people here that are not, Crystal and Contessa and Jason, and we want to invite you guys to, ask any questions.
Question time.
So a lot of you guys are muted. So if you want to, shake your hand for the camera, and I can get the control panel going to get your voice on. Does anyone have any questions that are here for, any of us here, Crystal or Jason and Contessa or me?
Yes. We have 3 harmonious unions you can ask
questions.
Ask questions to.
So, anyone have a question at all? Lydia's got a question, so let me get her stuff on board here. Yeah, I think you should be able to talk. Go ahead, Lydia.
Okay.
We'll hear you just fine.
Were any of you ever blocked or totally disconnected from your twin? And what did it take for you to kind of, I know the mirror exercise, but
right.
I'm trying to go hard, and I'm just kind of on my personal experience, my twin, last month, I thought we were getting into union. We were so close. We were going on dates. And then this month, it's just kind of he kind of withdrew from me. And I just wonder if I did something.
Good. So, yeah. Crystal, do you want to field that question?
Yeah.
I couldn't really hear it too well.
She said that other than the mirror exercise, her and her twin flame aren't communicating, and he's pulling away.
And she wonders if she did something wrong.
Right.
No, you didn't do anything wrong. You just gotta look inside yourself to see where, you're feeling like you're not communicating with yourself. That's what I would do.
Spoken from a master.
Yeah.
What about you, Contessa and Jason? How would you field that question?
Well, I would say mirror exercise, and because it's all inner work, it's not.
Yeah.
There's not you're not looking to him to make the changes, because you can make all the changes on your own.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it.
I
Spoken
agree.
from the lips of a master.
Yeah, I agree with all what they all said.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So is that was it the answer you were expecting, Lydia?
Yeah.
You're a student in Ascension School, so you're taking kind of answers.
I'm busy blaming him.
Still
No,
busy.
changed that. I changed. It's just that it's been 7 years, and we have been through a lot. We've been through he disappeared for a year and a half. He came back and he said, "Were you out last night? Because I thought I saw you with another guy." So he saw another female that looked like me. That made him wanna like. So I'm like, I'm haunting him everywhere. I'm like, I need to call this girl and thank her for looking like me because he came back.
Lydia, I think that a lot of people out there can relate to what you're going through right now.
I agree. Yeah, it's common.
And then, they're coming to our YouTube channel and they're getting the exact same advice that Crystal and Contessa and Jason just gave.
Yeah.
It's inner work. You have to go within. Don't worry about them. Concern yourself with yourself.
We just did a YouTube video on this recently about the final video where we talk about runner chaser and how there's no chaser, it's only the runner. If it's a true twin flame union, you're running from yourself. And so that's why the five of us are saying, mirror exercise it, because there definitely is a miscommunication here, or else your twin wouldn't be reflecting an upset here. Like your twin shouldn't be running away from you.
Right. I know a major blockage is the fact that he feels like he doesn't deserve me. So not for nothing, deep inside, I was looking at that and I'm like, I kind of feel the same way. Even though I have it all together.
Good awareness.
Deep inside, I feel like I don't deserve it. I don't know why.
One of the other girls said something like that, and we tend to put our twins on a pedestal.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
You really need to make sure you're equal there, because that separates you also.
Yes.
Nice. Beautiful work. Good awareness.
Yeah, I agree.
Spoken from the lips of a master.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, like, I had a little bit of that in the beginning when I realized that Jeff wasn't a player. He was just extremely sexy and trying to, like, attract his right woman. And I felt like, is it really me? Like, he called me weirdly sexy. Is that, like, a good thing? Do I, But, yeah. And then I said, no, I just said, no, I'm here for my twin flame. And if he's my twin flame, I'm going to go for it. I'm definitely worthy of this love.
Mm-hmm.
How could I not be, But yeah, there was definitely a part of that where I was like, is he out of my field, out of my league or what? But no, after I like had a conversation with myself, I'm like, no, definitely not. I want my man. I don't care what he looks like. If he's so sexy, he gets heads turning, but yeah.
Thanks for your question, Lydia.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Gregory, let me get your microphone set up here. Come to the twin flame table.
Twin flame table.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me? Hi.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fine. Yes.
Nice to see you.
Hey, it's great seeing you guys. I love you guys all so much. You guys are awesome.
We love you too, Gregory.
Thank you.
So as you guys know, I've just been working through this one interesting block, and that is coming to a point in which where I am trusting myself. I know the only reason why I came to Twin Flame Ascension School was after getting a reading from Jeff, and he said that it's a false twin, and then went through a mild crisis, like, you know what, I'm done, let's figure it out. So I ended up joining it at that point. But at what point did you guys get into your guys' journeys in which where you guys actually began to trust what was being communicated to you by God about your twin flames and your journey?
Wow.
That's
good question.
It's a very deep question.
I want to go first.
Oh, okay.
You need to go first?
I was excited.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, for me, I was the type of person where I knew as like practically an infant. Like I was 3 years old and my dad said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And like, when you're that young, you're all heart. And I said, there's this boy I was in love with, and I'm like, I want to marry him. But it was like this feeling in my heart where I was like, I wanted to be a mother and I wanted to marry this boy that, lived down the street from me. But it's because I thought this little boy was my twin flame. It felt like that. I mean, of course I didn't understand the concept, but you're all heart, something. And so that was what really propelled me. I always thought about how interesting that was my answer to my dad. it wasn't career, you know, it was I'm going to be in harmonious twin flame union. My dad was freaked out. He was like, you need to like, no. I mean, like, what do you want to be, a teacher? Do you want to drive a fire truck? I'm like, oh, fine, I'll be a teacher. Funny, that's actually what ended up happening, you know? But so yeah, that's what really propelled me. Like all my experiences, all the knowledge and skills that I've accumulated from that point brought me to the place where I was able to finally meet Jeff at like what, 28? I was 28 years old.
Yeah.
And what allowed me to begin uncovering my spiritual gifts and my spiritual abilities was when I left my house. Well, like I left home at like 18, you know, and I lived in a pretty strict Catholic household, you know, church every Sunday and, you know, just very religious. And so that's what started to open me up, because I knew that I was having experiences as a child and as a teenager that the church couldn't explain. Like I could hear God talking to me. I could like see angels. I was having these very synchronistic experiences, and I was having very vivid dreams. And, you know, I just knew like there was this inner voice in my heart that would talk to me all the time. And then when I realized like other children weren't having that experience, I started to shut down my gifts. And so when I left the home and I started to open myself up to Eastern philosophy and spirituality and religion, I began to reawaken those gifts again, to the point where I was able to come into a place of absolute trust with my gifts and abilities. And I knew that what I was channeling and what I was seeing was 100% accurate, because I started working on my core blocks to my love with God, just like how you'd work on your core blocks to your love with your twin flame. And so when you gently release those core blocks to the love of your father and the love of your mother, of course, you're going to naturally reawaken your inherent spiritual gifts and spiritual abilities. But you have to do it from a pure place. You can't do it because, ooh, I want to be psychic and make money off it and tell people their future and, you know, read the astral realm, which is very scary. Never touch the astral realm. We only ever go straight to God, straight to source, and we just get the truth. And that's why we're able to give 100% accurate readings. Mm-hmm. And so when I met my spiritual teacher in Sedona, she was also extremely gifted and psychic and a divine channel. And she really gave me the last core pieces that I need to finally trust and completely awaken my own abilities. And that last piece was really about trusting what I was receiving was true and accurate. And that she showed me a foolproof way to find out if I was blocking the truth or not, or if I had a belief that was out of alignment with the divine that was giving me a different answer. So like when you get a psychic reading from someone who's not a divine channel, they're reading manipulated energy. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not actually reading the truth as God is showing you and presenting you. Mm-hmm. But if you have upsets and blocks to God, well, yeah, you're not going to be an accurate channel and receive mm-hmm. accurate information. Right. It's really about being extremely humble in the arms and at the feet of God. And that's how Jeff and I were able to awaken our abilities. And I remember I gave Jeff a pendulum. I was like, no man of mine is not going to learn how to talk to God, you know.
I tried it a few times, like, oh, this is stupid. It's not working for me. And then her twin flame, her spiritual teacher taught me how to do it, and it clicked. And that night when we got back to her place,
so many questions,
crazy
asking anything and everything.
Because you know, I was already having this conversation with God through numerology.
But now you could feel like a real response back.
Yeah,
like
I
a
could
real
really
conversation.
actually talk to God.
Yeah, it was like tangible.
and then I took off, and that's how I, became a divine channel. That's the process.
Yeah, it was very, very beautiful to watch you uncover your gifts.
So are you done with your answer to
I
his
am. Yes,
question?
please go ahead.
I got another answer. Well, I want to answer his question still. We'll have time for your question at the very end. Yeah. So for me, Gregory, how I came to trust was I leapt into the arms of my dreams, and there was nothing else I could do but trust, because all I had for me was trust or nothing. Trust or nothing. So I put myself in that position where I had to do it right, otherwise I'd get nothing.
Right.
So I got beaten up on my false twin flame journey, and I'm riding the train home. I'm like, there has to be a reason for this, God, and I can't really do anything else about it. I got no control here, so I just let go. And a couple months later, Shaleia showed up in my life.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, do you have an answer to that question that you want to add, or how did you come into having trust?
Well, I basically just was just tired of not being able to have faith in life, and I just felt like so separated and alone, and I just got fed up with it, and I just started letting go, and I had to build the trust up over time, but it was really fun to do because I would test it and play these little games, and just everything usually when I put the trust in there, it all worked out.
So the trust for you is something you built up over time by testing, that thing was good.
Right.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Thanks, Crystal.
I agree.
And then Contessa and Jason, do you guys have an answer to that question? How did you come into having trust and faith in God? We can't hear you. Wait, start over. We can start to hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
You're very faint. You got to enunciate a lot. Your microphone's really quiet compared to everyone else's.
Probably for me, a lot of it was either experiencing and testing and comparing to other relationships and what I'd gone through in the past. And
Yeah.
a lot of the verification that this was something totally new and different and deeper and more solid than anything I'd ever known.
So yours came, Jason, through contrast, through knowing other relationships and then knowing what you have with Contessa as being transcendental.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced the very same thing, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Contessa?
I was working on trusting myself to be a better healer. That's what I was focused on whenever I came into this. So I was only working on myself and not actually wanting a relationship at all because I didn't trust any of them.
Yeah.
I was just trusting God and the divine, and not and that's what got me in line to do this, to actually have a relationship. So I wasn't really looking for this whenever it came back.
Was something really brilliant about what you did and very logical about what happened for you is you first started a relationship with God. And that's the secret hint behind all of our stories. First, we started a relationship with God, with Source, with our good, with love. We trusted in that completely.
Yes.
And that naturally resulted in our harmonious twin flame unions.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Contessa. I know that Inch, let me get your mic.
I hope we say your name right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Hi.
Just fine. Hi there.
Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Thank you so much. I wish I had, well, I found you in December when I was in contact with my twin. We had physically gotten together November 10th and 11th, ironically. And I didn't even know what twin flames were. And that's a whole nother story, but he's someone I knew when I was 17, and he found me after 32 years, and he was married, so it took a year for us to decide to even just see each other.
Right.
And then he went back and he told his wife he wanted a divorce, and she freaked out. And then we tried it slower, but then she freaked out again. And he wound up sleeping with her, and I freaked out. And at the time, I just felt like literally my heart was going to stop. And I disengaged. We had a really strong psychic connection, and I could feel and see everything he was doing, and it was just way too much for me to experience that. And at the time, it's not that I didn't believe you guys, it's that I have a spiritual practice of my own that I had confidence in, and I thought that would be enough. But now I really need help. After doing the mirror exercise for 3 days, I was able to talk to him yesterday for 40 minutes. And
yay!
I know.
Yay!
And that's amazing because he had blocked me. He had completely blocked me, and I thought there was no way to reach him. So I was desperate, and I did it like really intensely. But
this is a universal thing we hear, Inge, is I did the mirror exercise and they unblocked me. I did the mirror exercise and our relationship moved forward.
Right. And one last
okay, but now
I just wanted to add one thing about
You'll get to your
about the mirror exercise is that you can add it as a spiritual tool under your belt and combine it with any other healing modality that resonates with you.
It's not exclusive. You don't have to abandon everything that's been working for you, but include this into your spiritual practice. This isn't the only tool you need for, well, I guess it is the only tool you need for, ascension and a perfect life.
It complements.
It complements everything else you're already doing that's working for you.
Right.
It's not exclusive to anything else. Invite it on to what you're already doing.
Exactly.
So you have a deeper question, and we're ready to answer it for you.
I do, and I probably need some in-depth coaching because I'm stuck. I realized that I was the one that shut him out because I freaked out so much about him going back and physically sleeping with his wife. And when we talked again, I did the mirror exercise afterwards because I noticed my own resistance and I was getting upset. And I realized that I have this profound fear of intimacy based on really deep childhood issues.
Yeah.
And one of them is just like, the core is like, I feel like I can't choose love because my entire childhood and life has been survival. And, the reasons for that, are more in depth, but I don't know how to use the mirror exercise to like do that because it's different than any other issue I've gotten into. Okay, sorry.
Pick me. I can help you.
Yes. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So, first thing you need to come to understand, and this is why Ascension School is so valuable, is you'll have these opportunities to ask specific questions and ask help of the whole, community there of, graduates and students who are on the same path as you and people who are there to support you. Is, we can help you identify the blocks, right? And the first thing I want to point out is you've been in survival mode because you haven't been choosing love. You feel that the survival mode is preventing you from choosing love, and it's your choice to believe in that fear of survival mode that prevents you from choosing love, right? So all you need to do is shift your choice. Now, you can shift your awareness and think new thoughts all day, but it won't matter. It's just you're spinning your wheels because at the end of the day, you have a deeper thing going on that's creating all these thoughts of fear.
Right. So when you heal that core choice, then subsequently all the other choices will just line up perfectly.
I'm upset with, God because he's always got me living in survival mode. Well, in step 2 of the mirror exercise, I'm upset with myself because I've always got myself living in survival mode. Oh, well, maybe, there's some part of you that you didn't think was that important to address, but is. Because now it's coming up in the mirror exercise to actually heal that piece And when you heal that peace, you realize that it was you all along, and all that blame you've been putting and all these reasons you have came down to that simple, one tiny little place. Oh, it barely is much of a choice at all, you'll realize within. But that barely much of a choice at all was still yet a choice. And that choice created this whole horrible experience of continuous survival mode, continuous fear, continuous lack.
Right.
I
But
mean,
all you have-
it's
Go
affected
ahead.
my jobs. I mean, I'm a professional person and I haven't been able to get back into my career for over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not just this union that it's affecting. It's like now my whole life, like the universe is like giving me neon signs in my face. But I don't know how to release it. I mean, I really don't know how to release it. I'm completely overwhelmed.
Let me call upon some masters. Hey, Crystal, what do you recommend for Inge? How does she release it?
Release the survival mode.
Yeah,
The fear.
fear.
Go into your heart and just communicate with God, and just know that God's always going to take care of you.
Nice.
Damn,
Yeah.
that was good. Beautiful.
Right.
I was expecting Crystal to say, do the mirror exercise.
No, I didn't.
I did. That was my name. Do the mirror exercise.
No, she's extremely wise. No, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. That was actually my thought, is the belief in not being supported in life and being supported by the divine, when the truth is, the reality is abundance and ultimate support. It's our beliefs that create our reality, and when we remove the belief that is out of alignment with the divine mind, then we get to experience the truth in reality. And, you know, like Jeff and I, we've definitely had moments in our periods of our lives where it was like pure survival. And I mean, I was even homeless at least 2 or 3 times, like living in a tent or living on someone's balcony, sleeping on a dog bed. Like I get the whole survival mode thing and like hustling just to like, you know, rub 2 dimes together and didn't know like when I was going to eat next. But it was a tremendous test in faith that I was loved and supported all along, and to continue choosing trust and releasing that old way of being, that old survival mode, into complete thrival based on knowing that I'm loved and I'm a child of God, and my true mother and my true father is God, and that is who I call upon always, and know that I am absolutely taken care of. Like, I was just relaying a story today about how Jeff and I went for a walk yesterday, and it started raining, and Jeff wanted to turn around and go home, and I said to him, no, we don't need to go home. God knows we're out here. And I kid you not, 10 seconds later, it stopped raining, because I called upon God to stop the rain so that we can go on our walk. And I've had several experiences of this recently, being able to control the weather, because it's coming from a pure place of love within me, not because I want to, like, I don't know,
do cool magic tricks,
feel Mighty Morphin Power Rangers kind of thing, but because of a divine call within me, and because I have a relationship with God, that I can ask God as this child, please hold off on the rain until we go home. We really need a walk, because on this walk, we are serving love. We are serving God.
And love guided us there in the first place.
Love guided us there in the first place.
So why would love rain on us?
So I claimed deeper trust, and I claimed our thrival all along the way, and said, no, I'm not gonna let rain, you know, fall. Like, I don't care if I'm rained on, but Jeff cares. And so out of compassion for my twin flame, I asked God to hold off on the rain, and it worked. It's a real being, you know.
God provides.
Like right. Yeah. Right. It's not some concept.
But you must have a relationship, right, with God. That's the secret behind all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a relationship.
Yeah, I'm Buddhist, so I have a different concept, I guess, but the whole trust issue, or, you know, whatever you want to call this source, is definitely a problem for me, and has been probably because of my childhood. Shaleia, I've listened to some of your YouTube dialogue about, you know, your mom and your family, and that whole part about not, you know, not being claimed when you were born, and the things that you said really resonated. I mean, I've gone through a lot of spiritual work, so it was a huge shock to me to realize I was blocking this union, and this was like, you know, because I thought it was him. You know, because he's the one that's married and not leaving his wife, right? But it's me.
Right.
It's totally me. I'm terrified.
Yeah, this is about you choosing to no longer abandon yourself. And when you choose to no longer abandon yourself, then you're choosing to no longer experience betrayal in your life, betrayal by anyone, because you're choosing to no longer betray yourself, because you're claiming your full power as a divine being. You're claiming your love. So when you do that, how could you ever abandon yourself? How could you have ever been abandoned? God never abandoned you. Only you believed in abandonment, and that's what made it real, and that's what scared you this whole time.
Yeah.
One last thing, and this is a really stupid question.
Yeah, it's not a stupid question.
No, it's stupid. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but okay. So while all this is going on, you know, he's saying he's gonna leave his wife, and he's gonna come here. He's in Toronto. I'm in Seattle, and all this time, I'm still in this, you know, lingering 16-year relationship with a karmic sort of person. It's not a physical relationship anymore, but I haven't been able to leave since 2006. And there were moments that it occurred to me, wait, I should leave this. I should tell this person. And I did at some point tell him, but that karmic person stayed. And I'm like feeling like I have to cut that cord, and I have to choose to move forward on my own, regardless of what my twin is doing. Is that an insane thought to have? Like, because I feel like until I can do that, nothing's going to happen.
So sometimes, you know, you need to vocalize or write out, you know, your questions, or share and express what's going on inside your mind and heart. You know, journaling really helps. This is why we have, you know, Ascension School, and the community is so enormously valuable, because you can share with others what you're going through. And you realize, like, when you can, oh, you know, this is my experience. Do I need to leave him? And you're like, you know, this is probably a silly question, and we don't even need to answer it for you, because you already know. But in your asking, in your vocalization of it, in your putting it out there, then it becomes very obvious and clear to you what it is you need to do. And of course you need to let him go completely, cut ties completely, so that you can open your heart and your home and your life for your one true love.
This is true for everyone who still has someone lingering in the background, or a backup plan. No, you gotta go all in with your twin. You know, let go.
Hey, Crystal, did you find your? So did you find that it was you could, you know, kind of date other guys and be with your twin flame, or you know, keep another side guy around and be with your twin flame?
No, I didn't want to be with anyone else. But like, you have to let go of all like your past relationships, even if you're not like together anymore or in communication. You have to go in and just release them so you can be with your twin completely.
What was the one big thing that you did that caused you to be able to start being with your twin flame?
Let go of a soulmate.
No, Crystal, go ahead.
I had to let go of a soulmate.
Yeah, that's right. Crystal ordered a reading from me, and she thought maybe this soulmate was her twin flame, but we revealed it was just it was like the perfect soulmate situation. Very comfortable, very easy. They had a very developed relationship based on past lives. But, you know, when we did the romance analysis multi-reading, I said to her, like, you're going to be actually really bored, you know, like, you're not going to grow. Like, do you want to grow, or do you want to just kind of hang out and be comfortable and, not do much? I mean, she had a very definitive choice as to what she was going to do in this lifetime.
from previous lifetimes with
from
him.
previous lifetimes, but in this lifetime she made a different choice to pursue her twin flame only and release all other relationships romantically. And now you've entered, you're done, you're complete, you got what you were seeking, you're meant to be with this one man for all eternity.
Very good. So that's all the time we have
Right,
for
we are
today.
complete now, aren't we? That went by fast.
Yeah.
But guess what, guys? Next Wednesday, May 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have another free live Q&A. And the same is true on May 17th. That's also the Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can come back, ask some more questions, hear more stories, get more information from us. And gives people an opportunity to come to one of those times, the people that weren't able to. So of course
you're planning for it, right?
Right.
And also,
right.
You've attended in one small way Twin Flame Ascension School. This is very much what classes are like inside of Ascension
very
School.
Similar, yeah, very similar.
Right, and you get the opportunity to ask your own questions. And really, in Ascension School, we're able to go a lot deeper than we were, with Gregory and Inch today, and and with Lydia as well. So come join us in Ascension School, and come join us next week, Wednesday at the same time. And thank you all so much for joining us here today.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you in other videos.
Take care.
And next week.
Bye-bye.